Hello everybody, welcome back to the Kill Count. My name is Large, and today we're covering your first ever fan request with Hell or High Water.
Channels like mine thrive off of every view, comment, like, and share. So to give back, I'm covering the movie you want to see. Someone requested Hell or High Water on my No Country for Old Men kill count, so here we are. When a greedy bank threatens to foreclose on Tanner and Toby's family ranch, they start robbing their ranches so they can give their own money back to them. Their plan goes sideways because the mastermind Toby didn't account for two things: a steadfast sheriff with nothing to lose and his reckless brother. Let's see if they can make it through hell or high water and get to the kills. The movie opens up with two criminals robbing a store, but since it's before they open, the register's empty. That's why most robberies happen at night. Their best hope is to wait till the manager shows up with the code to the safe. The old woman they accosted calls them stupid for this blunder, so one of them presses her. He orders her on the floor and says she's a stupid one. The manager walks in and sees his employee on the ground. The next thing he sees are two loaded pistols with the hammers cocked back. The immature one clocks him, and we hard cut to the pair making their getaway. They pass a cop car on their way out, with the pigs not realizing the perps are slipping right under their nose. In the car, they mask up properly, and we meet Tanner and Toby Howard, played by Ben Foster and Chris Pine respectively. That opening scene shows you all you really need to know about the brothers. Tanner being the hot-headed one willing to get his hands dirty, and Toby being the quiet mastermind watching everything go down, and both of them being more in over their heads than they'd like to admit. Next scene opens up with an old man chatting with the teller at a Texas bank until the brothers bust in with blacks. Tanner squats on the counter demanding money while Toby aims at the patron. The old fella, with a butt to his right and a barrel to his left, curiously asks if the bank is being robbed. Toby tells him to put his hands on the counter, and he asks them why they're robbing it if they're not Mexicans. Tan repeats to the woman that they don't want bundles, just loose bill. A bundle is a stack, by the way. They disarm the man and reassure him that they're not stealing from him. Just before they dip with the cash, Tanner puts one in her bosom. Toby apologizes as they leave, and the old man shoots at their getaway whip with piss poor aim. All hyped and giddy, Tanner wants to hit another bank tonight, but Toby reminds them that they need to hit them in the morning when they're empty. Everyone in Texas is packing, so unless they want to get shot at again, they can't go with the crowded ones. They drive all the way into the middle of nowhere to their ranch and use a crane to bury the getaway cars. It's actually really smart. At the police department, two rangers, Alberto Parker and Marcus Hamilton, discuss the robberies, while Marcus just wanted to discuss why Albert got his fit on. The brown one brings up the fact that they only hit a bank only found in Texas Midlands. He says since it's not happening out of the state, the FBI don't want to fuck with it, so it'll probably be the last case he solves before he retires. Back at the ranch, while Toby counts their earnings, Tanner chain drinks and complains about his sorry condition. His brother states that while he was in jail, he had to take care of their dying mother while tending to the animals, so he kinda had his hands full. This makes the ginger visit her empty bedroom. He starts to choke up as his brother mentions how sick she got with him, wishing he could have done more. Outside, Tanner asks if she left a will and if he's in it. After a pause, Toby responds saying the will doesn't matter, because his assets are going to his kids anyway. When Chris Pine's character tells him it wasn't personal, Tan snaps back saying she never forgave him for standing up to their dad. He was tired of them whooping everybody ass, so he shot him. In the next scene, the two rangers are asking people if they saw the people who robbed the bank, and someone says that if he catches them, he'll lynch him. The sheriff responds saying that'll help everyone but him, and the citizen retorts, yeah, if you can find the tree, giving our antagonist a hearty chuckle. He chats with the manager that got clocked at the start of the movie, and mentions that the security cameras were down at the time. He asks if it might be tweakers, and Alberto drops a fire line.
A little early in the morning for tweakers. Tweakers don't sleep, they just tweak.
The manager also informs it that they didn't take any bundles so they wouldn't have a traceable ink sac. The cashier recounts that the robbers were white and that their actions made it sound like they were from around here. His partner tells him that they got the same story from a different Texas Midlands bank. Marky surmised that since they're taking small amount of bills each time, they're saving up for some. Later at a diner, Tanner asks about his nephews. His little bro says that he keeps them in the dark about everything. They don't know that their granny died, and they don't know that they're robbing banks all over Texas. When he mentions that the last time they spoke was over the phone, he gives him a look of disgust. He says they have to go see him tomorrow, but he says his wife is gonna hound him for child support. His brother reminds him that he got more than enough on his person right now, as he says that all the money they earn is for his plan. Toby admonishes his brother's worry, but he replies saying that no one ever gets away with it. He asks if he knows that he's not gonna get away with it, then why would he help him out? Tanner says that he did it because his little brother asked him to. He spots a bank across the street and makes an excuse about needing to party. He waltzes over there and robs them for their small bills. All while that happens, Toby flirts with a plump waitress about wanting a new job and tips her the money he could have paid child support with. As he leaves, he sees his brother running out the bank with cash spilling out his pocket.
You dropping bread, baby!
When his brother pops off on the lick, Tobias rips him apart for setting them a day behind with his reckless stunt. While they conceal their car, Alberto and his bestie get a call from the same bank and make their way over there. Al says that since he's retiring, he'll need something to do, like horseback riding, when we get a rare tender moment from the prickly prick. He says that he'd hate it because it would only remind him of his dead wife. The Mex-indigenous man says that for his retirement, he wants a fishing boat and live on the pier with his woman. The white one makes a joke about hoping to die in a shootout with the bank robber so he doesn't have to retire. Then jokes about Birdie not being able to avenge him because he'll drink too much? Our little comedian. I never found stereotypes like that funny. It's the lowest form of comedy in my opinion. And if anything, jokes like that should be coming from within the community. Like when an MHA fan tries to make a JJK joke instead of a JJK fan making a lobotomy Kaizen joke. The awkward silence is broken up by a wildfire and some cowboys herding some cattle away from it. After debriefing the old heads, one of them laments on how the younger generation doesn't want to carry his legacy, but he understands why. And I understand why the comment called this a sequel to No Country. While being a completely different IP, it's got the same themes of that movie along with being in the same genre. They pull up to the place Tanner's employer lets him stay. In the domicile, we see a picture of him and his sibling, his bro's stolen hat, and a Gadsden flag, which tells you all you need to know about this fella. As they leave, he packs his coyote shooting rifle in the trunk. The next scene shows the sheriffs investigating Tantan's solo robbery. They're shocked when this one doesn't exactly match the description of the others. She has trouble describing the car he got away in, so Marcus helps her out.
Well, was it a nice car? An okay car?
A real piece of shit.
He goes to talk to a manager and asks if they got a recording of it, to which he says, "What kind of ghetto ass, dumbass, no bread having ass bank don't have surveillance?" Marcus proclaims that he's going to a diner across the street. Alberto tells him to get him something, and the ranger replies they probably don't serve pemmican. He's seriously tired of his shit, yo.
He strolls in and asks if anyone from out of town ate here, so the waitress gets the lady from earlier. While he waits, he talks to the fellas at the table behind him. They watch the whole robbery go down, and they say it's ironic because they've been robbing him for years. He described both men and says that they look like brothers. Miss Waitress comes to Marky's table and her whole demeanor shifts when he brings up the robbery. He tries to confiscate her $200 tip as evidence, and she gives him hell, as the three old men from Cowboy Bebop laugh at him. Alberto comes in corroborating the solo stealer narrative, and the old niggas confirm Tanner's description. Marcus challenges Birdie to wrangle a description out of that big sassy lady, and to get a hotel room for the both of them. One of the old guys says that the days of robbing banks and being able to live long enough to spend it are long gone. Later, Tanner asks him about his children's hopes and dreams. Toby says he sees a lot of his brother and his son Justin. He just tells him to make sure he doesn't make the same mistakes. They sing along to a country song and make their way to a gas station. While the whip gets filled and Tobias gets some snacks, some youngins pull up and get heated when Tanner stares him down. When he pulls out his piece and gets out, Toby comes out of nowhere and beats his ass down. He goes for his homeboy, but he says he had it coming, so he lets him live. He picks up the gun and throws it as far as he can before getting back into the whip, all to his older brother's amusement. As they leave, Tanner gets mad at him for getting Mr. Pibb instead of Dr. Pepper.
I said Dr. Pepper. Who's Mr. Pibb?
That's all they had.
Only assholes drink Mr. Pibb.
Oh! Healthcare ain't cheap over there, so you can't always visit the doctor. At night, they take their earnings to the casino to launder their money. While Tanner's into gilfs, Toby ain't, so they drink until they make them look more attractive.
Wow!
You're charming the pants off of me.
What did you say, Aunt Selma?
I said take off those damn glasses.
When they bring the cash to the counter, they make up an excuse, but homegirl says, we do not care. While their plan is just to convert the chips into cash and then back into cash, Tanner takes some of the chips to the poker table and puts belt to ass. He gets into a raise war with a man from the Comanche Nation. He ends up losing, so he leaves. The man stops him and says the Comanche means enemies with everyone, making Tanner an enemy. The ginger responds, saying that just makes him a Comanche. A young woman walks up to Tanner and points out his huge stack of chips, which is a really weird way to start a convo. They end up forming a genuine connection when he starts talking about his kids, and she begs him to go up to his room and feel him up. She gets clam jammed when Tanner strong arms her, telling her to scam someone else. He accuses her of trying to drug and rob his little bro, so he tries shoving a chip up her coochie. What the hell? She understandably storms off and cusses them out. They exchange the money and try getting a room, but they don't have a reservation. Tanner somehow manages to seduce the receptionist and get him a room. Back with the Rangers, Alberto's chilling on his bed watching a televangelist preach, and Marcus tells him to turn that crap off. He says since he's half indigenous, he gotta be doing stereotypical native stuff like burn sage or dance around a fire with a spear. But Birdie tells him he's a Catholic. Marcus says either way, the televangelist is scamming people, saying God doesn't speak to them.
I told me to take all that and tell your bitch ass bank, cause he got my number directly, hoe ass nigga.
So he changes his channel to football. Then Mark jokes about him liking soccer more because he's half Mexican. Alberto gets tired and says, shut the hell up and leave me alone. He says it a lot nicer, but that's what he meant. Marcus guilts him by saying, I'm gonna die soon, so you're gonna miss my racist remarks. The next morning, he complains about having nothing to do when he retires. Alberto wishes him well and saying he wants the same thing for himself. The boys talk to a lawyer and tells him the money they rinse can't be tracked and that they owe the bank $43K. When they ask why he's helping him, he says the way they hoed the fuck out of their mom and tried taking their ranch makes him sick.
Seeing them pay back their loan with their own money is very admirable to him. Tonto and the lame ranger stake out a TMB in a restaurant right across from it, and the brothers borrow a new car. He lets them take it and reports it as stolen so he gets his money back. While Tanner meets with a guy from Chevron to lease an oil rig, his little bro visits his baby mama to catch up and give the child support money. He tells her that the family ranch is going to their sons, but she treats it like another burden. His eldest walks in on them chatting and leave after giving the nastiest front eye. He follows him with 2 beers and asks out-of-touch questions like why he isn't in school on summer break. Then he tells him he's giving him the ranch and that they found oil on it so they won't have to worry about money anymore. That's probably why the bank wanted it so bad. He ends the convo imploring his kid not to end up like him. When he gets back to the ranch, he finds Tanner loading a magazine, saying that they're taking 2 cars to the next robbery. Since the stakeout is unsuccessful, Birdie starts complaining about how the plan sucked and how inhospitable the shitty town is. He looks back at the country's history and says it used to be his people there, and everything belonged to them until white folk came up and took everything and killed everyone off. Now the same thing's happening to them, but it's rich people, like Texas Midland's Bank. The brothers share their own sunset reflection when they discuss their taste in women. I didn't include it, but Tanner ended up banging the receptionist right next to his brother. Tanner thinks about how the innocent and sweet ones get so nasty. Just like Hosier, his brother does not like him sweet. The next morning, they get ready to knock over a place until they find out it's been closed for a minute. Tanner realizes that since the bank was closed, they probably won't have enough, so they gotta hit a big bank in another city. With the Rangers, Marcus begs Albert to let him cook as he explains the robbers' map. Surprisingly, he accurately predicts that they're heading to the bank in Post, Texas. Shout out all my Post Texans, yo. So they head over there. They get worried when they notice that this is in a ghost town. Toby has a bad feeling about this, but the large size of the bank convinces them to press on. They walk into the full bank shocked and force everyone onto the ground. Tobias keeps them all in check while his big bro gets them money. He doesn't do a very good job because the security guard fires on their ass. Tantan puts him down for the first kill of the movie. A man with the gun gets courage and starts shooting at Toby, but he's swiftly put down by Tanner. More people raise their arms and start shooting at them, so they dip. Insane aura loss. Outside, they're surrounded by armed citizens. Tanner gets into the driver's seat and Toby gets shot in the back as he slips into the bed. They're chased by Texans around town and the younger one contemplates what just happened. The ginger says it was us or them, so he had to do it. That kinda goes out the window when you're waving a gun in everybody's face, dog. Alberto gets a call that the bank Marcus thought was gonna get robbed, got robbed, so he gloats in his face. When the boys get far enough, Toby makes it to the front seat and gets comforted while the blood loss gets to him. Tanner gets another amazing idea, so he pulls over, takes out his AR, and blasts on them till they flee. After he hops back in, they make it to another car they abandoned, and they say their goodbyes. Tanner compliments him on his plan and how well it went. He tells him he loves him as his brother leaves with the money, and he goes off to fight them back. He gets chased way up the mountain by Marky Mark and his funky bunch. In a pretty cool play, he puts a cloth in a tank of gasoline, sets it on fire, and let it roll down the hill into some squad cars. He sets up his sniper rifle on the mountain and starts shooting. Everybody aims at him with ARs as he relentlessly fires on him. Birdie tells him that the townfolk killed one of them, so it's just him up there. Right as he spits another indigenous joke, Alberto gets shot in the face! Oh, with his brains in the back of his hat. The Lone Ranger forces everyone back and gets into a man's truck who offers to help him get him up there. During Toby's attempt to escape, he's stopped by some Rangers and successfully makes it through. While Tanner, the Tank Howard, has the time of his life shooting pigs, Marcus sneaks around him and puts a bullet in his forehead. Tobias goes to the casino alone and thinks about his brother. He ends up making it to the bank right on time with the money. He wants to make sure everything's absolutely finished. He even watches him fax the paperwork to his lawyer. Right before he leaves though, he sets up a trust for his kids. Marcus visits the precinct during his retirement to see Tanner's rap sheet. They notice he's got a brother, but his replacement, Margaret, points out that nothing links his brother to the crimes. The waitress says it wasn't him, and same with the old timers. The court won't even bother getting his financial information. She says it just makes sense for Tantan to do it just because of his history. Plus his oil rig is pulling in 2,000 barrels a month. That's like 120K. That's more than what they stole. Once he finds out that Texas Midlands holds the trust for all that, gears start turning in his head. Maggie tells him let it go and enjoy his retirement. Despite that, he goes to Toby's crib. He introduces himself as the man who killed his brother. He asks if he can sit, and the larcenist reluctantly lets him. While sitting on Tanner's chair, he asks him why he robbed the bank. He starts talking dog shit about his brother, saying he's a crazy asshole who did all this for the love of the game, and if he got away with it, he'd piss away all that money on bullshit, with no evidence, mind you. It's crazy work to talk about someone's kin like that while they're holding a gun. He says it doesn't make sense that he would need the money given the oil they found, but old boy suspects him because Tanner's not smart enough to pull that on his own. Again, you don't know this fucking guy. Toby tells him that generational poverty spreads like a disease, so we want to find a cure before it hit his kids. He also tells him that he's never killed anyone before, But it'll start with Mark, old ass. They're about to have a standoff, but his fam reaches. They make up an excuse about being friends so his ex doesn't get suspicious. Since this is their house and not his, Toby tells him that he lives in town, and if he goes there, they can meet up and die. The movie ends with Marcus leaving as they promise to put a bullet in each other's head.
4 people died in the entire movie. With a runtime of 102 minutes, that leaves us with a kill on average every 25 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hall of shame goes to motherfucking Marcus, man. He was just being racist the whole movie. You could say some Gran Torino BS and say that's how they show love, but nah, fuck that. He really couldn't make a connection to his partner, so he was mocking him for his skin color the whole time. Like, sometimes he found her charming, but just like Jeff Bridges, that got old fast. Hall of Fame goes to Alberto, not just because I like his character, but because I don't really like anybody else's. Tanner is a creepy shithead, and Toby's a cardboard cutout. Like, can you seriously tell me anything about him besides he likes his kids? And what he said at the stakeout was really insightful. I like that. Platinum Pistols also got to go to Alberto, because I didn't see his death coming. In retrospect, it should have, because of the way he was talking and moving, but it's still an impactful death to me. Poor Pea Shooter is gonna go to Tanner, because I felt like it was pretty lame and unearned. That was the first of many fan requests, y'all. If anyone's still here, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I'm doing the Hunger Game movies next! And then some more fan requests. If you made it to the end, comment Mockingjay. See ya!